Your friend just got promoted. They're at an amazing vacation. They accomplished something incredible. And you probably saw it on Instagram. Or did you? Because there's a specific type of person who experiences the best moments of their life and tells absolutely nobody online. And what I discovered about these people will change how you see confidence forever. Stay till the end because I'm going to reveal why the people who don't post their pictures might actually be the most emotionally intelligent people you know. Let me paint a picture of modern life. It's 2026. You wake up. First thing, your phone is in your hand before your feet touch the floor. You check notifications, then you scroll and scroll and scroll. And you see it everywhere. People announcing their lunch, posting their gym selfie, sharing their problems like a public diary, living for likes, comments, and shares. But here's what's interesting. In your contacts right now, there's probably at least one person who never does this. You barely see their photos, no selfies, no vacation updates, no just woke up pictures. They're almost invisible online. And if you're anything like most people, you've probably thought one of these things about them. Are they shy? Are they antisocial? Do they think they're better than everyone else? But what if I told you that their behavior isn't a sign of insecurity, but a sign of something much deeper? Here's a fact that most people don't realize. A study from the University of Alabama found that people with high self-esteem and secure attachment styles actually post less on social media, not more. Let me explain why. There's something psychologists call privacy orientation. It's the psychological need to control what information about you enters the world. People who don't post their photos have mastered something you won't hear about in self-help books. They understand that validation is an inside job. While everyone else is screaming for external approval, likes, comments, shares, these people built something rare. They already feel complete. Think about a person in your life who's genuinely confident. The real confident people. Do they need to post a photo at the beach to prove they went to the beach? No, they went. They enjoyed it. The memories are in their mind, not on a server. There's a psychological term for this, internal locus of evaluation. It means they judge themselves by their own standards, not the standards of 2 billion people online. And here's what's wild. Research shows these people are 34% less likely to experience social anxiety, 27% more satisfied with their lives, and significantly less prone to depression. Why? Because they're not constantly comparing their behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah is a woman I know. Brilliant, funny, kind. She got into her dream graduate school. She traveled to 5 countries in 1 year. She started a side business. She fell in love. And you know what? You would absolutely have no idea about any of this if you checked your Instagram, because she has posted maybe 12 photos in the last 3 years. One day, she told me something that stuck with me. She said, I realized I was doing things to have the story to tell, not to actually experience the moment. Once I stopped posting, I stopped thinking about how to capture it. I just lived it. That's not shyness. That's clarity. That's understanding that there's a difference between being seen online and actually being known. And you can be extremely visible on social media and still feel completely invisible. But these people, they figured it out. They know that real connection happens in real life. Real validation comes from real relationships with real people who love them, not strangers liking a photo. So if you're watching this and you're someone who doesn't post much, know this. That's not a flaw. That's actually a sign of emotional maturity and self-awareness that most people are desperately trying to develop. The 5 psychological truths about people who don't post. Number 1, the secure attachment effect. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby, shows that people with secure attachment styles, meaning they feel safe in their relationships and within themselves, don't need external validation. They post less because they're not using social media as an emotional crutch. They don't need 200 comments to feel good about themselves. Number 2, the self-awareness advantage. Research on self-concept clarity shows these people have something called stable self-esteem. That means their confidence doesn't fluctuate based on likes or comments. They know who they are, deep down, and that knowledge is permanent. It doesn't need a refresh button. Compare this to people with contingent self-esteem, where their worth depends entirely on external feedback. That's exhausting, and honestly, it's sad. Number 3, the cognitive load factor. Here's something neuroscience tells us. Every time you post something, you activate the anxiety circuit in your brain. You're now waiting for reactions. Your brain is monitoring the post's performance. People who don't post avoid this entirely. Their dopamine comes from actual accomplishments, not from notification pings. That's why they're often more focused and productive. Number 4, the reality check. Social comparison theory, pioneered by psychologist Leon Festinger, proves that social media creates an endless cycle of my inside versus their outside. People who don't post understand this trap. They literally opt out. And studies show that people who limit social media are happier, less anxious, more focused on real goals, and better at genuine relationships. Number 5, the emotional intelligence secret. Here's the big one. Emotional intelligence includes the ability to regulate your own emotions and resist the urge to seek external validation. People who don't post have high emotional intelligence. They understand that their worth isn't determined by comments from strangers. And that, my friends, is rare. Here's what's happening while they're not posting. While everyone else is refreshing their posts, checking comments, editing captions, these people are building deeper friendships with actual conversations, pursuing goals without needing to broadcast them, enjoying experiences fully instead of curating them, sleeping better, no doom scrolling before bed, thinking clearly. Their mental energy isn't scattered across a dozen platforms. Think about it. You know which person is more attractive. The person who posts a gym selfie every other day asking, "How do I look?" Or the person who just goes to the gym, gets fit, and doesn't need your opinion. Exactly. The person who doesn't post is actually more secure, because security defined by not needing external reassurance. The moment you need validation, you've already given your power away. But here's where it gets really interesting. Psychologists have discovered something called the observer effect. The moment you observe something, or in this case, the moment you think about how something will look when posted, you change the experience. You're no longer fully present. You're performing. And performers, by definition, aren't authentic. But people who don't post, they're still fully present. They're still authentic. When a person who doesn't post goes to dinner with friends, they're actually there, not thinking about angles, not thinking about captions, not thinking about whether their lighting is good. They're just there. And neuroscience shows us that this presence actually creates stronger memories and deeper emotional connections. So while everyone else is living for the post, these people are actually living, and they're remembering it more vividly. That's a superpower most people don't even know exists. Look, I'm not here to judge people who post a lot. Some of the most authentic, secure people I know share their lives online. They do it genuinely. They're not seeking validation. It's just how they communicate. But if you're watching this and you feel pressured to post, if you feel anxious when you haven't shared something in a while, if you're constantly asking yourself, should I post this? This is your sign. Your sign that maybe you've been seeking validation in the wrong places. Your sign that maybe it's time to care a little less about what 1,000 strangers think and a lot more about what you think of yourself. The people who don't post their photos figured this out, and that's not a weakness. That's wisdom. If this video made you realize something about yourself, drop a comment and tell me. I read every single one. And if you're interested in understanding the psychology behind human behavior, why we do what we do, why we think what we think, hit that subscribe button, because that's what we do here. We decode the mind, not judge it, decode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.